Dr. Coetzee, good morning to you, and thank you very much for your time. Are you taking these allegations seriously as SAMA? I'm asking this because my understanding is that the Council on Medical Schemes, CMS, is doing an investigation or a review after allegations by another organization, National Healthcare Professionals Association. And SAMA is not the one that has leveled these allegations.
Good morning. And good morning to all the viewers out there. Yes, you are absolutely correct that SAMA would like to be part of the investigations and the task team that is being implemented with the Council of Medical Schemes into these racial allegations. It is true that SAMA did not initiate last week's debacle that went on, but SAMA is of the opinion that any racial connotation or any racial profiling to any member, whether it's a SAMA member or any healthcare practitioner out there, must be condemned in this highest possible way. But SAMA also want first to have the facts. We cannot jump onto the bandwagon and play to an audience out there if we do not have the facts. The investigation is a very important tool, and this investigation will lead to two things. Either it will prove racial discrimination, or it will prove that maybe there is no racial discrimination, but poor record keeping from our member side, or another glitch that may be in part of the system in investigating these healthcare practitioners. And if we find that there's a problem in the investigation of these healthcare practitioners, SAMA would then need to come up with a model of how to go about it in future. But we cannot encourage any racial profiling of doctors. It must be on your competence or your outcomes of your patients or any other reason except race.
Now, Dr. Coetzee, in your experience or in the experience of your members as SAMA, the South African Association, Medical Association, what would make medical schemes not pay out claims?
In my experience, with my personal experience and experiences that we have from our patients, will be that the scheme perceived that there is a problem, either with billing or either with whether the patient was actually seen by the doctor or whether the services was rendered. So the fundamental problem is lying there. We need to make sure that the services are rendered, that the patient indeed did see the healthcare professional, and if that didn't happen in during these investigations that Council of Medical Scheme are going to conduct, then there's a problem with the system. As I've said, we need to make sure what is going on. But that is normally why a medical scheme will not pay a provider. If you are an outliner, they've got a system that they're using, and I'm not pro-medical schemes, I'm just totally independent. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to give a weighted, balanced outcomes of what is happening in the industry. So any doctor thinking that he has been unjustifiable being targeted by a medical scheme must please send all their information with the relevant documents to SAMA or to the Council of Medical Schemes so that an inquiry can be held into this matter.
Okay, now, very briefly, Dr. Coetzee, before I let you go, I understand SAMA was part of a number of stakeholders who attended a meeting last week of the Council for Medical Schemes when there's been an agreement about this investigation, the scope of it, and how long it should take. When do you think realistically we'll find out the outcomes of this investigation? By when?
I would still stay and say that within 4 months, as been set by the timelines that was been agreed upon last week, I think it's a valid timeline. If anything else comes up, we will maybe extend it, but I don't think so. To me, this is very straightforward. There was allegations; it need to be investigated. The proof, remember, the Council of Medical Schemes cannot investigate a complaint or a query if it has not been lodged with the Council of Medical Schemes or by SAMA or any other organization looking after the interest of healthcare practitioners. So you cannot simply sit there and think, I was unjustifiable, targeted, and someone is going to look at my case for me. You have to send your case, proof of what happened. It cannot simply be made on allegations and emotions. It must be, unfortunately, be proven.
It has to be based on facts. Before you go, Dr. Coetzee, very briefly,
yes.
Does SAMA have black practitioners as members?
For sure, SAMA's got black practitioners.
Have they complained about being unfairly treated by medical schemes? Is SAMA aware of similar alleged discrimination against its members who are black?
Yes. And we did take it up in the past with those medical schemes, as we believe in negotiation and the mediation process. So it's been taken up, and I was not part of that process. Processes has been successfully been negotiated where it could have been. And I just need to warn our members out there. There's a call that this must be taken to law, to, the court must provide about whether there was fraud or not. This might lead to a lot of unhappiness if a doctor is then found guilty by a court. So we need to get our own house in order as medical practitioners, not only as SAMA, and make sure that when we are unhappy about something, that we have got good record keeping, that our house is in order. Otherwise, it's not going to play out very well for the healthcare practitioners. And again, SAMA is a non-racial organization. More than half of our members are black doctors. And I don't like to use the term white doctors, black doctors, Indian doctors, or colored doctors, as that again bring in a racial connotation. We are all medical practitioners serving patients out there.
Thank you very much. That's Dr. Angelique Coetzee, the chairperson of the South African Medical Association.